Film, did you learn anything that you didn't see in the moment?
No, it's just, you know, there was a couple things in terms of they did a good job on the fly sweeps, you know, Chase, they got him into good plays off of that. You know, the pressure part of them recognizing and putting him into better plays, that's the part that we knew coming in that they would do it, but the flies coming off of some of the internal stuff was the ones, you know, you watch the film, I beat myself up about 450 times going through it, but you know, there's things that we can do. We're going to see the same type of stuff versus Colorado. So it's a little bit sensitive in terms of the stuff, the adjustments and all that stuff because of Colorado. And we actually play Utah afterwards, so they're going to do the same thing. We know we're going to see it, so we've been working at it to get it ironed out.
Is there one thing that's most easily fixable, you think, without giving anything away?
You know, there was some assignment bust. You know, and that was the part of, outside of the run game part of it, we made some critical mistakes. And it's I always say this, it's not what happened, it's why did it happen. So just internally, you get in, you talk to the kids, and these guys are great. You know, and you take ownership like I have with them and I will with everybody else, but you want to find out some of the whys. You know, there are some day one install stuff that we bust, we cut some guys loose. Those are the things that we have to work on along with the run game. We all understand that. And, you know, we came out and had a really good Tuesday practice. You know, come out again today to work on some third down and some tight red zone. We'll tighten it up a little bit more. These kids are eager. I think we all are eager to get back on the field on Saturday.
Drake Jackson, I know he came into the season like pretty low weight-wise, just given the fact that he was sick for those couple weeks. Has that affected him at all?
I don't think so. I mean, he's a really, really powerful guy. It's just, you know, for whatever reason, through the course of the games, he's got some nagging injuries, and he's been chipped up a little bit. So, you know, we're being mindful. That's the one thing that I always want to do, because I know these guys will go out and do anything we ask them to do. It's almost being protective of them. And I know when he's hurt, and I know when he's banged up. There's a big difference. And I'm going to step in and make sure that, you know, that he's protected when I know that he's vulnerable, because he's doing things that his body can't do at that moment. So it's just, unfortunately, he's dealing with a couple things here and there that he's really grinding through. But at the end of the day, we've got to sometimes make a decision for him. So, you know, he's a tough kid. It just comes down to just making sure that we're smart.
That was the situation with him.
Yeah, that was, yeah, absolutely.
When you look at when you go from the tape of Washington State to Oregon State, what are the biggest things that didn't translate from that game to the next?
Well, I think there's a couple things. It's just overall execution was the one thing, and that goes back to me. You know, we got to be smart in terms of, you know, the amount that we're giving guys to make sure that we don't get critical mistakes. You know, we run a pressure and we have two guys on the same side. We lose container, it was a fourth down play, and then later on we cut a guy loose that's in the backfield that we're pointing to, but we just doesn't process. That's not on the kids. That's on me as a coach. So what we have to do is internally, just like I've been doing, beat myself up for the last 3 or 4 days, and just trying to iron out, you know, what are the things we're going to get really, really good at. And it's a collection of, okay, if they do this, we know the concept of doing this. If they change a piece of it, this is what we do, and feel great about that piece and then bring that along. And then there's another thing that we want to bring it along. But we're starting to see some of the younger guys that are showing up in ball games, and we just got to be smart with them. So, like I said before, and a lot of internal stuff that we're doing right now, not what happened, it's why did it happen and how can we fix it and have answers. That's it. Take ownership and have answers.
Realistically, how many times do you watch a game like that over? Is it more than normal?
Yeah, I mean, any game for the most part, but those things just, I mean, that's, you know how it is. I mean, I'm not telling you anything that you probably wouldn't do if you had a lot of pride about you. So those things nag with you. And like I said beforehand, really anxious to just, you know, get out there and play again. And that's not representative of this unit, and we got to get it fixed.
Jalen Smith has really maximized his opportunities the last 2 weeks. What's he showing you?
Oh, he's been good. I mean, he's got really good coverage skills, and he's got great vision. I mean, that's a guy that he's got to start. I feel the same way with him and Bullock, and he's starting to get that feel of like they're ready to go. Let's give them more opportunities, and you'll see him this week.
What do you want to see from the linebacker?
Well, it's probably everything in general, just rock steady, being stout at the point of attack, and then making some plays in the pass game, in the space game. That's the biggest thing. You know, ball gets out in the perimeter, we've got to show up, run in the alley. It can't be just a single safety back there. It's got to be a collection of guys. So that's where I really want to see those guys show up, is some of the stuff that runs out to the perimeter of us not just being A-gap backers and being able to fly out in the perimeter and be able to be another number for those guys to get the ball on the ground.
Let's do one more.
We've seen Kalana Makala get some extra opportunities this week. Is that something he does well, and maybe that's a skill set that you want to?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a guy that continues to get better. He's an athlete. He can run. He's a guy that I think you're going to end up seeing.